Hi, this is Greg from Greg's Bass Shed. In this video I'll be having a look at the Roadhouse version of Knocking on Heaven's Door. This is a request from a subscriber and I must admit I haven't heard this version before and it's really great, so go and check it out first. It's in the same key as the Eric Clapton version, so if you learn this one then you can use the same bass line for that one as well. Or you can transpose this bass lines for different versions like the Guns N' Roses versions. I think that's down a tone, but check that one out. So you can use this bass lines for all versions of Knocking on Heaven's Door. This is a really popular song at certain gigs and jam nights, so it's well worth you learning the sequence and the bass line for this. You can download a PDF with the whole bass line written out. I've done that for you with tab as well if you need it. Just click the link in the description box below and I'll email that over to you. If you're viewing this video from my website, then click the YouTube logo in the bottom right hand side of the video and that will load the video up in YouTube. Then you can look at the description box. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel and also you can join my mailing list on my website gregsbassshed.com. So this Roadhouse version is in G major and the sequence goes 1, 5, 2, 1, 5, 4. So in G major, that's G, D, A minor, G, D, C. And there's a half bar of the G and the D, a whole bar of A minor, a half bar of the G and D, and then a whole bar of C. So it's just like the 2-bar section with an A minor at the end of the first one and a C major at the end of the second one. This sequence repeats round and round for the whole song, so it's really easy to learn the sequence. It's used on the verse, the chorus and all the solos. So to get started, we'll just play the root note of each chord, which outlines what the chord is, and it sounds like this. So we've got G, which is the 3rd fret of the E string, and then we've got D, 5th fret of the A string, and A minor, so A is the 5th fret of the E string, so G, D, A, and then we've got G, D, C. So if you play that with me after 4, and remember the G and the D are half bar or half measure each, and the A minor and the C are a whole measure each. So 1, 2, 3, 4. G, D, A minor, 2, 3, 4. G, D, C, 2, 3. And again, G, D, A minor, 3, 4. G, D, C. So practice these roots first and make sure you're really comfortable where they are on the bass, and that will enable you to play the whole bass line much more confidently. Now for the song, there's a basic bass line pattern that's repeated throughout, and it gets busier as the song progresses with extra notes and fills. And as I said, I've written this all out note for note on the PDF. Now this is a good way to approach building bass lines by building gradually throughout the whole song. If you start a bit sparser, then this gives somewhere for the song to go. When I learn a song like this for a gig, first of all I look at the chord sequence and work that out. Then I see if there's a basic bass line pattern and I learn that first. Then after that I learn all the extra fills. Then when I come to perform the song I play the basic bass line pattern and add my own fills or some of the fills, but I put them in different places. So that's a good way to personalise the bass lines, and still you'll give the listener what they want to hear. So you've got to play, if there's anything specific to that song, really iconic part of the bass line, then definitely play that because the listener will want to hear that. But I see no reason to play the bass line note for note. It's good to learn that, to learn some fills and some shapes, but then make it your own bass line. So I'll now show you the basic bass line by playing the first 4 bars. So if you start with your first finger on G, which is the 3rd fret of the E string, when we practice those roots, well, for the bass line pattern, for the basic pattern, you can keep your hand in position. That's G, C, D, D, C, A. So G, for me, that first bit. 3, 4. And then for the next 2 bars or measures, G, G, D, D, C, C. And then for the next measures, G, G, D, and then it goes to C here, D, C, C, A, C. And actually I have shifted there, my second finger on G, just to play that B. So put your second finger on C, so we can play that B there. So you can actually start the whole bass line with your second finger on G, but I find it easier here. And we're told to play one finger per fret, and that's a good rule in general, but in this case here we're playing at the bottom part of the bass. So I actually play G, I actually use 4 fingers over these first 3 frets, 3, 4 and 5. So I tend to play my first finger on the G and my little finger on the D, so I bunch it up a bit. But when we come to play the B, we can move down there. So don't take that as a hard and fast rule that you have to do every time. It gets you into good habits, but you can also play using 4 fingers to 3 frets. So if you play the second part of this with me, so from the bars 3 and 4, 3, 4. G, D, D, C, C, A, C, B, C, B, D, G. Okay, so we'll play that first 4 bars. 3, 4. And if you listen to the bass line, you can hear some notes are short, some notes are long. So in the first 2 measures, so you can hear those. So have a really good listen to the bass line and work out what notes he's playing short and what note he's playing long. Now that 4-bar pattern is used throughout the song, as I said, and it's got different variations. Now I'm not going to show you each variation throughout the song, but I've got that written down with tab on the PDF for you to look at. So I'll just show you some different variations that are used through the song. So the first one is at bar 26. Now that is the second bar of the chorus. It's on an A minor chord and it changes from to. So that's on A first and C, D. Do, 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 do. So do, 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 do. So with me, that whole bar, so that's bar 26, the second bar of the chorus. 3, 4. Again, 3, 4. So this variation crops up for a lot of the rest of the song, so that's a good one to learn. Next we'll look at the fill in bar 40. That's the 8th bar of the guitar solo. So this is a really nice fill and it's used a bit later in the song as well and slightly changed. So I'll play that for you first, and it's a bar of C. So 3, 4. C, 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 D, F, D, C, D. So have a look at that fill as well, and then work your way through the PDF and see what other changes you can find. I'm now going to show you a simplified version of the bass line. This is really for those of you who've just started playing and that are really struggling to play those extra notes. I'll put this on the PDF with tab. It's only 4 bars long, so you can repeat this pattern throughout the whole song. You can use it and it works through the whole song. Then when you're feeling more adventurous, you can play some of the harder lines. So that starts first finger on G, 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 D, which is the 5th fret of the A string, D, 5th fret of the E string. C, A, well, that should give you enough to go away and learn the whole song using the PDF. I'll leave a backing track of the 4-bar chord sequence running so you can practice your roots, the simplified version, or the whole bass line to that backing track. Remember to have a listen to this excellent version of Knocking on Heaven's Door, and if you've got any tunes that you think other bass players would be interested in learning, then please let me know by leaving a comment below this video, or you can email me at greg@gregsbassshed.com. So it's always great to get suggestions from subscribers, and some of the songs I wouldn't have heard of myself, like this one. So you can get all these details and details of the PDF and also about my Facebook and Instagram by looking in the description box below this video. So it's got loads of information in there, or you can just go over to gregsbassshed.com and I've got loads of videos on there, loads of resources, and you can sign up to my mailing list. Well, I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Remember to subscribe, and I'll see you next week for the next lesson. This is Greg from Greg's Bass Shed.